welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. So in today's video I am going to declutter my eyeshadow palettes. I have tons of eyeshadow palettes, okay guys, and there are some palettes which I have used only twice or thrice, so I thought I will declutter my eyeshadow palettes and I will do a blog sale on Instagram. So if you want, you can check my Instagram. I will post the price there. So if there is any new YouTuber or blogger out there, if you want any palettes, you can definitely DM me on Instagram. You can contact me via email as well and let me know if you want any eyeshadow palette. I will give you in a very low rate, and definitely contact me. I would love to help you, but I will definitely see your channel or your blog post and I will see if you're regular or not. Then only I will send you, otherwise I'm very sorry. But I really want to help some of the YouTubers out there who are very new and the bloggers out there who are very new, and it's just a help from a YouTuber to a new YouTuber or a new vlogger. So yeah, if you want to see what are the palettes I decluttered, then please keep on watching. So guys, here are all my palettes. So today I will be decluttering some of this. Starting up, I am not going to declutter this because this is the Focalier. Oh my god, the name is so hard. Correct me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Focalier So Hot palette. I just purchased it right now, so I'm just going to keep this. Next up is this Anastasia Prism palette, and oh my god, it's such a beautiful palette. I'm not gonna declutter this right now. I'm going to keep this. The next one is the Revolution Pro palette. I'm gonna keep it because I have just purchased it. I'm trying this palette actually. Next is the Beauty Killer palette, and look at the shades. I'm never gonna declutter this because I love it so much. Next up is the Sugar Cosmetics eyeshadow palette. It's a nice palette, but I don't reach to this, so I don't know yet. I'm just keeping it right now. So the next one is the Aphrodite palette. I really like this palette. Gonna keep it. Next up is this Faces ULTIME Pro face palette. I'm not gonna keep this. I have used it twice and I'm gonna declutter this. Next up is the PAC eyeshadow palette, all matte 7 colors. I really like this, so I'm gonna keep this. Next up is the Revolution Fortune Favors the Brave palette. I don't reach to this, so I'm gonna declutter this. Next up is the Makeup Revolution Ultra eyeshadow palette. It's in the shade Eyes Like Angels. It has beautiful shades, oh my god, but I don't reach to this right now, so I'm going to declutter this. Next up is the Pro palette. I have some of the shades which I like using, and so I'm gonna keep this actually. Next up is the Wet n Wild eyeshadow palette. Love the pigmentation, love the blending, gonna keep it. Next up is the PAC eyeshadow palette, which is a customized palette. I'm gonna keep this. Next up is the Coastal Scents 28-piece eyeshadow palette. One shade is broken. I'm gonna declutter this actually. The next one is the 35O Morphe dupe palette, which I got it from Bangladesh, and it has beautiful shades. I don't reach to this, so I'm gonna declutter this. Next is the Meet Matte Nude palette. Such a beautiful matte shade palette. Definitely gonna keep it. I don't know what is this doing here. Next is the 42 Double Stack Coastal Scents palette. Such beautiful matte shades, you guys, but I don't reach to this, and it also has blusher shades, so I'm gonna declutter this. I don't reach to this, but beautiful palette. Next is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill Vault palette. Arms and Gorgeous, love this new one, so I'm gonna keep it. Next is the ColourPop I Think I Love You So palette, and it's such a beautiful palette, but I don't reach to this. I think I will be decluttering this as well. By the way, I thought I will be decluttering this Sugar palette as well. Next up, I'm going to keep this NYX Brights palette. Such a beautiful palette, love it. Next is the Freedom Today's Tonight palette. Beautiful shades, but I don't reach to this, so definitely gonna declutter. Next is the Freedom Rock and Roll palette. Beautiful shades, but I don't reach to this, so definitely gonna declutter it. Next is the Shaharan palette, and I haven't used this palette yet, so I'm not gonna declutter it. Next is the Nubian 2 palette, and I love this palette. It is so pigmented. I'm gonna keep this. Next is this Morphe 12Z palette, Zodiac palette actually, and I don't reach to this. I'm definitely gonna declutter it. The next one is the MUA palette. I'm definitely gonna declutter it. Next is the Sleek makeup palette, and I'm not gonna declutter it. Next up is the Glitter Galaxy Shy Style palette. Such beautiful palette. Oh my god, I'm not gonna declutter it. It's so pretty. Next up, this is my first palette. Love this just because I have learned so many things from this palette. I'm gonna keep it. Next up is the e.l.f. Matte for Matte palette, and I don't reach to this. I'm not sure, so I'm gonna keep it for now. Next up is the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. It was a gift, so I'm definitely gonna keep it, not declutter. And the last one is the Dare to Create 39A palette. Love this palette, gonna keep this. So these are the palettes I'm going to declutter. So if anyone wants to buy, check out my description box or DM me on Instagram. So that's it for today's video. Hope to see you again on my next video. Till then, take care. I love you all. Mwah. Bye guys.